Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's New Earth Teachings with Ascended Master Lakeshma event for September. So those of you who follow Beings of the Light, I'm sure you know much about Lakeshma. She's an Ascended Master from Atlantis, because what she went through was a time of the greatest awakening, the first great awakening of humankind, and it parallels to what is happening now, which is now the greatest awakening of all time now. So there's a lot of parallels going here in many lessons from that time, and it will assist us in this transition. All right, well, without further ado, I'll go into trance. But before I do that, we've got some lovely Patreon members joining us. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to go now into trance and bring forth Lakeshma for you. Hi, dear ones. It is Lakeshma coming through. I wanted to come through again at this time of the greatest evolution of humankind. Dear ones, are you feeling the shifts? Are you feeling the shifts in your consciousness? The shifts that you see in your reality? The shifts that you see in society? They are all taking you to remembering the truth of your being. They are all allowing you to see that you are one, that you are one people, that you are one with Gaia, that you are one with the universe, that you are one with all beings of the universe, and all that is, that you are one with Source, because you are Source. You are the God within you. You are a projection of the One. It is through you experiencing life, through these challenges of the human race, that allows you to propel you into remembering who you truly are. It is through this dance of contrast, this dance of polarity, where you seek inwards, where you travel through different dimensions of yourself, where you then expand not only yourself, you expand the collective, and you expand Source itself. It is through these dimensions of the perceived physical reality where you create universes. This is why you as a human race are so advanced, because you have these abilities within you. Many other races who do not have this physical expression can create in such a way. Some of you may judge this physical reality. Some of you see it as limiting to your experience as a spiritual being. But it's in this physical creation, by you uniting the spiritual, the physical and non-physical in your perception, where you expand. And how exciting is that, that you have this perfect blend within you, that you have all the technologies within you, within the human programs, within the human mainframes, that allows you to blend, allows you to explore both polarities, that allows you to see the truth of who you are. And you have these technologies within you, and you have the most powerful technology available to you as a human, that is your emotions. Your emotions are portals. They are pathways to allow you to create dimensions. Not all beings have certain emotions, and this is why you are so highly advanced, because the emotions propels you through to the understanding dimensions of the non-physical and bridges the physical world. And it's here where you get to experience your own creation as God manifested. You are able to create dimensions and experience them in a perceived physical form. Can't you see how amazing that is? How advanced you are, that you have this capability? And this is why there are so many beings assisting you. Although you perceive myself coming through Kimberley, you perceive other beings as external to you, assisting you, and because you are attached to this polarity, this duality, then yes, you might perceive them as outside of you, outside forces assisting you, but it is all within you. They are all reflections of you, projections of the one, assisting you to remember that you are one and the same, dear ones. It is a time of the greatest awakening that has ever occurred for humankind. This is why you are seeing so many shifts around you. You have entered these new earth paradigms in your terminology, and it's about you being able to further let go these activations of your ethereal and your perceived physical DNAs. All these activations within your light body and physical body is allowing you to basically activate more of these advanced technologies within you. It allows you to perceive more of the truth of your reality. So these things happen naturally just by you living and breathing. Some of you feel the shifts, some of you do not feel the shifts. That is okay. You do not have to do any special exercise to receive these activations. It is by you just living and breathing here in this reality, in this time continuum, where you are receiving these downloads, these activations. But it's up to you, for you have free will, to let go of these attachments to the perceived old, to these paradigms that limit you, that is no longer needed for your evolution. It is up to you. You can attach, you can hold on to these dimensions, because these dimensions make you feel more secure. These so-called dimensions, these experiences of your perceived past, these identities that you've associated with, that you have attached to your persona, what you should do in your life, how your life should look, how society should run. All these attachments is assisting you to allow you to feel like you have a place in this world, a place in society. But this is somewhat limiting, because who you truly are and your places in society is far beyond what you can comprehend. You are the light workers and the wayshowers of this world. So it's about you not fitting in society. It's not about you fitting into your place in the world. It is going beyond that. And this is why it is up to you to let go of these old paradigms. Now, these dimensions of experiences were for you. And if you are still existing in these paradigms, these attachments, then it is for you in some regard. But communicate with it. Is it still needed to be embraced by you? Are there still lessons in there for you? Or are you ready to let them go? It's about being aware of the dimensions you reside in. It's about being aware of your emotional states. These are clues to the dimensions you reside in. There is no wrong dimension. They were just different, we would say, different sides of the coin, different angles here of physical reality. But some allow you to step more forward into your role here as the Lightworkers and the Wayshowers here. And some may hold you back in exploring the illusion of who you are. It is up to you. It is your choice. Do you choose to step more forward into your role? Do you choose to step out of the status quo? Do you choose to embrace your uniqueness? Do you choose to be the voice of the powerful being that you truly are? Or do you choose a voice that is not heard? Are you afraid to stand out, to speak your truth, to express your truth? What is your truth? There are many questions here, existential questions. There are many explorations here that will assist you to find the truth of why you are here for yourself. And it is about stepping forward, embracing your power one step at a time. But these steps may not be familiar to you. That is okay, because you have evolved and you will continue to evolve far beyond what you can see when you look in the mirror, not just in perceived physical form, but also in consciousness. Everything is connected. As you expand, as your consciousness expands, so does the physical form have to also expand, because it is one and the same. One thing cannot change without the other. If the consciousness changes, of course, the society in the physical form also has to change alongside that, because it is all one and the same. So it is about embracing your power. Now is the time of the Great Awakening. Now you have weathered many shifts this year in particular. And now it's the time to step more into your power. It is now time to realize, to embrace this new paradigm that you are now all existing in. Yes, it might seem unfamiliar to you. At times it might feel scary. At times it might feel like you are stepping into the unknown, and this can trigger many emotions within you. It can trigger a fear response within you. But know that this is paradigms that you wish to explore here. It's about trusting the power of you, trusting that you have all the answers and all the technologies within you that is ready to be utilized and expressed outwardly. You are creating an outwardly world by your internal world. In higher truth, it is all internal, but you are here to create dimensions in a perceived external world, a physical reality. These are all projections of your consciousness. And it's a playground of great expansion here, and you get to experience all these wonderful, magical, physical experiences. And by doing so, you create so much more than you can ever comprehend. You are creating further dimensions, further universes. You are creating worlds. Can't you see how powerful you are? Of course, this information might be challenging to comprehend at this point of your vibrational understanding. But just know you are much more than what you do. You are much more than when you look in the mirror. You just cannot remember the full, powerful being that you truly are. And this is why we come through to assist you in to activate this remembering within you. For these words that we speak are words that you already know. You have just forgotten, my dear ones. But you are here, you're attracted to these teachings because there is part of you that is starting to remember. And you are following your path here, one step at a time. There was something within you that drew you to these teachings because you're ready to remember more of who you are. And you're ready to step more forward into your role here that you have chosen. You have free will. Of course, you do not have to choose any role. You can live any way you want to, but my dear one, you chose greatness. You chose to authentically step forward in your power. And you have the abilities to do that. And by you doing that, by you being the voice of the truth of who you truly are, you give permission for others to use their voice. You give permission for others to align to their true power and step forward in their purpose here, dear ones. It is with such honor that we come through today, my dear ones. Are you feeling the shifts, dear ones?
Yes, Lakeshma, I am definitely feeling the shifts. And I'm feeling the shifts during the day and even at night. I feel the psychic energy and I get very hot. And it lasts for a few minutes and then it goes away. And then I continue on with my day, and it seems to happen. And I've noticed that when I experience fear and emotion of, sadness or fear, I've noticed that I cannot put it off. Where before I could like put it off and put it to a side and then do my soul work. But I'm noticing it gets so loud so quick that I have to stop and do my soul work. And I'm thinking it's because of the acceleration.
My dear ones, before, because you were, we would say, still heavily attached to duality, now as a collective you've moved to paradigms that align more to oneness remembrance. So because of this, the dimensional shift propels you, that forces you to address these programs that no longer serve you, whereas once before you were able to put things to the side. But because of the acceleration of the vibration that you as a collective are now existing in, it has caused you to address things in a perceived faster pace, we would say. This is why it appears that things are moving more faster. Things are propelling you to act on things in a more timely manner in your perception. It is because you are vibrating at a higher rate. Consciousness is vibrating at a higher rate, and everything is perceived to be moving in a faster in a rate in your perception. Of course, time is an illusion, but it is because you have shifted as a collective. The paradigm dimensions you exist in is different from before in your perception. And you may feel that your reality is shifted. You may feel that you yourself has shifted. You may feel that, we would say, working on yourself in relations to activities with yourself has shifted because of this. Of course, the soul work is something that will be needed to be continued here, because you are still a human, you are still in a transitional period of remembering who you truly are. There is still attachment to duality in the consciousness, and because you are attached to the collective consciousness, there will always be these polarity dimensions, these fear-based dimensions within you that you will need to address. Know that this is no measure of your success. This is no measure of how good or bad you're doing your soul work, your shadow work. It is a natural state of progression for the human race. The more you go inwards, the more you address your vibration, the more you address the beliefs within you that limit your power, the more you'll be able to easily transition through such challenges, through such shifts. It'll become second nature to you. It'll become to a point where it'll be a breeze for you. Whereas before, doing the soul work might be quite intense for you, might be quite challenging for you. So put things aside, put things under the rug, so to speak. But now, because you've activated more technologies within you, more abilities within you, you are now more easily able to manage this soul work. At times, it might feel intense when it first comes up, because you are becoming more sensitive to these energy polarity shifts. But even though you might feel things more intensely, you'll be able to address them more efficiently, more successfully in your terminology, because you have those tools more readily available to you. So as you go along your journey, just embrace everything that comes along in your path. Yes, you'll come through little obstacles along the way, and that is the polarity coming into effect in the human experience. This what assists you to create your world, that assists you to create your reality, that creates universes and dimensions. It is a system, a divine system here that allows the humankind to create, that allows you to create realities. If you did not have this polarity shift, then you would not have the catalyst to create. Can't you see? You need this polarity shift to catalyze you, to ignite the fire within you, to take a step forward, we would say. But just because the polarity exists does not mean you have to exist in fear, does not mean you have to suffer through the polarity. You are oneness. This is who you truly are. You do not have to see polarity as a fear-based mechanism. Yes, you may feel that on each end of the polarity is negative, is positive, is fear and love. That is because of the human paradigms, the human dimensional experiences. In higher truth, polarity does not necessarily mean fear and love. It is just driving forces that propels you and the human race to expand, to remember more of who you truly are. You can be in loving acceptance of this polarity shift. You can feel the little nudge when you experience a polarity, and you can use this to adjust your frequency accordingly. There is no need to have any suffering through it. Suffering is a human paradigm. Suffering is attached to victim mentality. It is a paradigm that you as a collective have moved through. It has served you and the collective for multiple reasons, but now you're in a stage of letting this go from your consciousness. So this victim mentality is still there in the collective consciousness, but as it becomes, we would say, transmuted from the collective, you will still feel this coming up, and this is the fear here. So just know the polarity experiences will change as you and the collective expands further into remembering the truth of who you are. So be grateful for you to even have this opportunity to experience what you perceive as fear, because not all beings and not all worlds get to experience this, and all dimensions of where you exist in do not even get to experience this. This is a unique dimensional fear experience that you get to experience here, and the way you perceive it is shifting. It is about you being aware of it, being aware that the fear itself is an illusion, polarity is not. It is a driver. It is just how you perceive the polarity and the fear, and it's how you harness it. Do you reject it? Do you see it as wrong, or do you embrace it and see it as a driver? Do you see it as a mechanism that propels you forward into your soul purpose? Here it's all about your perspectives, and it's all changing within the collective consciousness. It is just about you letting go of these notions, these programs that no longer serve you, as you go forward more into your purpose, dear one.
So Lakeshma, I am appreciating fear. That's interesting that you said that, because if you asked me 3 years ago, would I appreciate fear, I would think you were crazy. But I am appreciating fear, understanding that it's a signal for me and that I get to feel it. So I really do feel that. That's interesting that you say that. But what I'm curious about is I am noticing more people awakening. And that means, like how you said, the collective is shifting. Is it like a fire in a forest, where it's like a little spark and then it like catches on and then it's like a blaze. Is that what will happen?
You as a paradigm, you as a collective consciousness have moved into, we would say in your terminology, higher dimensions of existence. And because of this, because you are attached to collective consciousness, the collective also needs to shift together, and it does shift together. Of course, being the light workers and the wayshowers of this world, your journey is, we would say, a few steps ahead compared to the collective, because it is your role here to ignite the fire within them, and it is your role to be the beacon of light. So this is why you are some steps ahead, we would say. But just know that by you being the light worker and the way shower here, you are giving permission to the other light workers and the way showers to ignite their light. We would say that there are certain systems at play here for the collective consciousness. There've been, because of this certain paradigm that the collective is now existing in, there's been certain, we would say, energetic codes being activated within the collective. And this is why there are so many people awakening to who they truly are. This can look, we would say, in many various forms in your society, depending on their vibration, depending on their focus and their perspective to what is. This is why you see a variance here where people go through paths in remembering who they truly are in love, and some people go through the awakening process where they start to question their reality, start to question their government, start to question what is reality. But if they are attached to, we would say, more predominantly fear-based dimensions, then they will experience the awakening process as, we would say, an us versus them paradigm. It is unique to where you have your focus, depending on where you do your soul work, you see. So those of you who are the light workers and the way showers, let's just say, because you have already enhanced technologies within you that allows you to manage the fear within you, you have been able to go through this awakening journey from a state of more loving acceptance of reality, more loving acceptance of who you are. You are able now to grasp more of these higher perspectives, so to speak. Whereas a lot of the other collective, even though they are also going through the Great Awakening, because they might not have had these technologies activated within them to such a degree that you have, they are having more, we would say, challenges in embracing the fear, more challenges in going through the awakening process, still seeing things as for them. Can't you see? It is questioning of reality. This is a common first step of the awakening, and you are seeing this in your reality. There are many people in your society questioning the status quo, questioning the society. There are people using their voices more in society, stepping forward in declaring what they do want and what they do not want. It is movements of energy, and movements of energy can be perceived as negative or positive movements of energy, but it is just dimensions of the awakening experience. Both are perfectly fine. There is no wrong or right way of how you go through your awakening process, but by you having this information, it will allow you to see in your society how people are being affected by these great awakening shifts. And it is because you are the light workers and the way showers where you can guide these people, where you can assist in being the light for others. So as others go through this awakening journey in their own unique ways, by you being the light, by you holding the light, by you vibrating unconditional love, this basically ripples out throughout all of the collective. And then you assist those in the awakening processes to remember that they are the light, that fear is an illusion. Can't you see? This is how the path of the light workers and the way showers intercept with the collective as you all go through this great awakening journey together. And this is why you may perceive you're further along in your journey than others, so to speak. It is because it's a role you are playing here, not because you are, in a way, more advanced, not because you have done more work. Yes, you've done the work because it is aligned to your role. And to be a light worker in the way shower, you have asked to do more soul work to allow you to be in a state of unconditional love. So just know that everyone is highly advanced, just as advanced, they're just playing a different role here. So you can be in loving acceptance of all others in your reality, knowing that they are also going through this great awakening shift. It just might be manifested and might be expressed in a way that is not aligned to unconditional love, so to speak. It is still an awakening journey. And as they go through these awakening journeys, they will get to a point where they will realize that fear is limiting. And then they'll get to a point where they'll need to further unite as one. You're already seeing this in some aspects of your society where even though there is a lot of fear, it has propelled them to step more forward in their voice and to take action, and they're coming together. Even though there is division, there's motion in place here where there are certain aspects of society, the collective coming more together. It is a step, and it's an important step. And it reflects the consciousness shifts that you and the collective are going through as part of this great awakening. Can't you see your role here, dear one?
Yeah, I totally see the role. And it eases. So what's interesting, so when I do past life regressions, the higher self or the spirit guide will say, because I'll ask, do you think their father will awake, or their mother or their sister or whatever, it doesn't matter. And they'll say, look, and they'll be like, oh, maybe not this lifetime. And, I always discuss, everyone has a soul contract. So most will wake up and some will not. And that's okay, because there's agreements on the other side.
Yes, soul contract.
Not to be afraid of people exiting the game. It's okay.
And everyone is just as highly advanced. It's just some of you as the light workers and the ray showers have chosen to remember who you are because it aligns to the role of the light workers and the ray showers. Can't you see? So others who are not the light workers and the ray showers have chosen not to remember more of who they are because it's aligned to the role they are playing in this reality. They're just as highly advanced as you, and the ones in your life are usually your master teachers. The ones that trigger you are your master's teachers. You might see those around you who are so-called not awakened, whereas in another dimensional experience, in another parallel life, they are your teacher. Can't you see that the roles always become, we would say, they're all connected, but they're all changed depending on your dimensional life experience. But just know, if you are a light worker in a way, sure, if this is your true calling, you do have this role in all of your multidimensional lives. Of course, you may choose not to take up this role, and that is free will, and that is up to you. But if you're a light worker in a way, shower, you were created for this purpose. There might be some lives where you might skip over this role because you want to experience more dynamics that will allow you to be a more powerful light worker in another life and so forth. But just know, if you're a light worker in a way shower, you have these innate abilities, you have this calling to assist others. It might not be in this, it might not be in a grand role, so to speak. It might be just you feeling guided to be in alignment by you wanting to be the light for others. And by you doing that, you act on your creation purpose here. And it propels you more forward into activating more of your abilities within you, your technologies within you. You are created for this purpose. No matter how many lives you are living or have lived, you are created for this purpose. And this is why so many of you who are the light workers and the wayshowers, if you turn your back, so to speak, on this calling within you, you may feel a certain shifts within you that cause you fear. You may feel certain shifts that creates, we would say non-alignment within you. You may see your reality trying to bring you back into your role. It's because you were created for that purpose. If you choose not to do this role, then you would say just choose to be in alignment and be the light. By doing this, you're also assisting others. You do not have to step forward in a grand role. Not everyone has a grand role, so to speak, but by you being the light for others, by you being in alignment, you play a very powerful role. It just, you do not see the mechanisms and all the pieces being put together because of your perception of a human. But just know, by you just being a light for others, you are creating universes. You are giving permission for others to explore more in this reality from a perspective of love. So you always have a choice here on how you play this game. But just know that your calling will always propel you forwards. Things will happen around your life that will make you go further inwards, that will catalyze you in moving you to embracing more of your gifts. So embrace who you are, embrace the powerful being of who you are, and there will be less resistance in your life. Just choose to be the light. And then from there, you'll be inspired and guided to take further steps if you so choose.
Thank you, Lakeshma.
It is my pleasure. Does anyone have any other questions today, dear ones? Don't everybody speak at once?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
So as we are purging, so in particular, I've been purging this. I used to do this thing where I won't speak up, or I'll like make myself uncomfortable to make others comfortable. And recently, I've noticed every time I'm getting that sensation in my body, and I just won't allow that anymore. How do we balance, speaking our truth, doing what's right for us, and also being in acceptance of what others are doing and of what their actions are that involve, us in that situation?
It is about being aware of your emotional state. Are you wanting to speak out of fear, or are you wanting to speak out of authentic power in loving acceptance? See, there are different ways you can speak out and use your voice here. Are you speaking out to judge someone? Are you speaking out to make someone wrong? Or are you speaking out from a perspective of unconditional love, but voicing your perspective, knowing that your perspective may trigger them, and that is okay? It is about being attuned to the guidance. Are you truly guided to speak the words from a place of inspiration, from a place of love? Or are you doing it from a place of ego, from a persona? It is about being fine-tuned to your emotional states. Your emotional states are dimensions within itself. So if you speak from a dimension of love, then you would say you are then tapping into more of your innate power. And by you speaking the words from that dimension, you are creating a very powerful shifts with the perceived other, because you're allowing that other person to receive their energy from that dimension, the frequency of that emotion. That frequency of that emotion allows them to allow certain activations to occur in the other. The other is also you. So if you can see that all others are reflections of you, you'll be able to let go more of the resistance that you will trigger others by you speaking your voice, that you might say something that they might not like. Because if you can be authentically you in your voice, in your power, then whatever action happens from the other, know that they're reflecting you. Know that if you can stay in alignment and they do an action or they say something that that perhaps you might see as fear-based, if you do not get triggered, then you know that you are actually truly assisting that other, and that this is not a reflection of you, that you are, that it is there, we would say, programs coming into play. And you can even further detach from that, knowing that you are now in a fully position of helping that person, because they are no longer mirroring you. You are now assisting them in their ascension journey in a more direct way. So basically, you can't lose here. No matter what you do, no matter how you express yourself, it is all assisting an expansion of yourself and of others. So it is about being aware of your emotional state, because by you being aware of your emotional state, that is a clue to the dimension you are residing in. You are multidimensional beings. And if you reside in certain emotional states, in certain dimensions, your reality and all those in your reality will reflect that dimension, that paradigm. Emotions are much more than you can comprehend. It is a powerful technology that creates your reality, that creates your reality experience here. So if you are triggered, if there is something that you do not like, then go within, take off judgment of the others, of the situations that triggered you. Go within. What is it? Are you judging something about the person or the information? Is it showing you something about yourself that you do not like? So what is it? Find the answer. See if it's something within you. If it's triggering you into a fear response, then it's reflecting a program, a dimension within you that you have not recognized. Having fear is not wrong. It's okay to explore fear-based dimensions. But this is not where your power lies. It is about acknowledging the fear, but then using that to embrace it, to propel you forwards into unconditional love and acceptance. So if you can do that, if you can find the trigger, if you can know that it is a master lesson being played out, even if you do not see the full picture of the lesson, you can then bring that back into you, knowing that this is a gift for you. You can be grateful for the experience, the interchange, knowing that this is a lesson for you. Once you can do that, you can detach, you can be in alignment. And then once you're in alignment, once you can be in this place of acceptance and love for the other in the situation, you will receive the guidance for the next step. And that guidance might be to share information. Mm-hmm. But that information would not be to make someone wrong or to try to change someone's perspective, because you cannot change someone's perspective by controlling a condition, by controlling the information. It is about being more fine-tuned to the dimension you reside in. And if you can know that you're in love and acceptance, then you will receive the information. And to say something, to express something, it might be to empower yourself or it might be to empower the other. It doesn't matter, because the other is you anyway. And it's about listening to that guidance. Now, sometimes when we receive that guidance and we know it's guided, it's for your highest good to speak these words or take this action, you might experience some fear because you fear how the others may receive it. You may have a fear that others see you in a limited way, or that you don't conform to society by you speaking certain things or expressing certain things. And this might create fear within you, but this is just the fear of not being accepted, the fear of not being loved. Know that you are always loved. Know that they are you, so how can they not love you when they are you? So this will also further help you to release the resistance and being able to speak and express what you are guided to do in the moment. It's about being in the present moment, being aware of the emotional state, being aware of the emotional dimension you reside in, plus the present moment, It is a perfect unison portal that allows you to express your authentic truth and your power here. But it's by being in the present moment where you are aware of your emotional state and the emotional dimension you reside in. And it is here where you become a conscious creator. You create all the time, but you're not conscious of it. But if you're aware of the dimension you reside in, then you can create a reality and you can assist others in a more empowering way. Does this make sense to you, my dear one?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes, I confirms a lot. Thank you.
And it is a step here to express more of your power. Because you fear of how society, how others will perceive you. Because you may perceive that they expect you to fit into a certain mold of how you should be as a partner, as a friend, as a family member, as a part of society. But these are all constraints. Who you truly are is propelling you to step forwards outside of the status quo, to not conform, to express your power uniquely. And it's okay if others do not understand, because they are you anyway. If you can be loving acceptance and being authentic in your expressing your power from a place of love, then you know that you are assisting those other aspects of you. For all others are you. By you being in a state of unconditional love, you are assisting those other aspects of you to remember more of who they are. And then by doing that, you unite more aspects of you in oneness to remember that you are one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, when I was meditating on that, I realized deep down it was a rooted fear of not being accepted for speaking my truth and being outcasted.
So be aware when you speak the truth, is it coming from a paradigm of love, of acceptance, or is it coming from a fear-based dimension? Mm-hmm. Either way, there is no wrong or right here, but just one is more empowering. It's about doing that work in the moment when you are triggered, and then having the confidence, knowing that you are now speaking from a place of loving acceptance. To speak from a place of loving acceptance, you might say that you prefer not to do something, to be treated a certain way. You are still in loving acceptance because you are loving acceptance of that person. But you might be put in a position where you might have to step forward in your power and declare that you are worthy to be treated with love, that you are worthy to be the reflection of who you truly are, that is love. Doesn't mean you're not accepting the other or the other's actions. It just means you are declaring what you prefer. But do it in a place of love and not a place of fear, if you can, because by doing it in a place of unconditional acceptance and love, it has more empowering effects to you and all others.
Thank you, Lakeshma.
Wonderful. Is there any other questions? We see someone with a question bubbling up there. That is okay.
Hi.
Hello.
I tried to formulate a question, and for some reason I have a hard time coming up with good questions, but
there is no good or wrong question here.
but I guess it was like maybe similar to what Claire was asking, but it feels like my mind will often will think about what the mass mind, all the people are thinking, like a lot of people, what their opinions are about stuff, and you know, kind of the truth of where I think things are starting to go, but then it's hard for me to unplug from hearing what I think other people are thinking about what the truth is or not the truth is, and just to go quiet and listen inside to what the truth is. Do you have any advice or techniques that could help?
Well, my dear one, you are connected to the collective consciousness, which means the thoughts and the emotions and the frequencies of all others are being experienced by you also in some part. This is why we say, if you can be more in the present moment and drop it down and live from the heart space, you in a way detach from the collective consciousness that might limit you in your habitual systems. Even though you're always connected, by you being in the heart center, you connect to more of the power of you, to the portal that is aligned to your source self, that is aligned to all the power that you have within you. If you're not living in your heart space and you are living up here in your minds and in your analytical minds, what happens is that this is where the ego programs lie. It is here where the habitual systems lie, and it is here where you may unconsciously connect to frequencies of the collective consciousness that may limit you somewhat. And when we say limit you, of course, all the programs of the collective consciousness is all for you for a reason. But let's just say that you'll have more empowering effects if you can drop it down into your heart space, and it allows you to then to not have a distorted filter, so to speak, on the true power that you have within you. And it is here where you can connect in more clarity to your higher self, your inner self, your source self, and where you can find the truth. Remember the truth for yourself without the distortions, without all the paradigms of the collective consciousness, because of all the paradigms of the human experience, of course, being plugged into it, it's only natural that it can cause some confusion, because you're experiencing all these dimensions, all these experiences of the human collective, and of course it might be challenging and it might distort the truth of who you are as a unique frequency of source, because you are one. You are a unique frequency of source, but you're also part of the human collective consciousness. So it's just about being able to manage these energy interchanges. And this is why when you can live more in the heart center, and in the present moment, it is a portal. It is a portal to the true power of who you are. And of course, as part of the human condition and the human biology, and it's part of your evolutionary journey, that you have tried to seek out and perceive and make sense of your reality through the ego mind. You have used your inner analytical mind. You have dropped into spiritual systems of past dimensions, of dimensions that have been limiting for you. And this all gets blended all together. And then when you're not in awareness from the heart center, you pick up these dimensions of the human experience, dimensions of your past that may be limiting to you. It's a lovely blend of collective consciousness. But if you can drop it down into the heart space, this is where you'll have more clarity to remember the truth of who you are. But just know the truth for everybody is different. So it is also about letting go of what is truth, for only you know what the truth is. We here provide you with tools to remember the truth of who you are, that allows you to discover the truth for yourself. Only you can take that step. We cannot tell you the truth. Only the one going within can discover the truth for themselves. Can't you see? We are just guides to you that allows you to go more inwards, to remember this truth for yourself. And depending on the dimensional reality of others, their truth will be different, because their truth will be aligned to the dimension they reside in. Can't you see? So in this way, everyone's truth is right. So it just depends on their dimensional reality. But there is a higher truth here in that you are one. But how you experience oneness is unique to you. You are one and the same. And once you can understand that, you'll be able to drop it down. And once you can understand that you're also a unique frequency of source in oneness, you'll be able to know that you have the power of the collective within you, the power of the universe, power of all that is, but you yourself have your own unique power that is unique to all others in the collective. And this will give you keys to further propel you forwards in your ascension journey here. It's about in loving acceptance of all others and all other truths out there. It's not trying to change someone's perception here because their truth is unique to them. The only, we would say, underpinning higher reality truth of who you are is that you are oneness, that you are source. Everything else is a exploration here, dimensional reality exploration here. And it is okay if people choose to explore dimensions of fear. But because you are a light worker and a way shower, no matter what role you choose to express this as, you have chosen to remember more of who you are. But to remember more of who you are, you have to listen to the voice within. You need to remember that truth for yourself, the truth of who you are. We are just guiding you here. But for you to remember fully who you are, you must experience that, discover that, remember it for yourself. It's an inwards journey, and how you get there, how you experience it, how you explore it is unique to you because you are a unique aspect of source. So it's just about living more in the present moment in the heart center and being acceptance of all others, my dear one. All others are you, having a different dimensional experience as you.
Makes sense.
And this will also assist you to let go of the resistance, to be more in loving acceptance, that they are on their unique journeys for a reason, even though there are aspects of you. To expand, you wanted to experience these different realities. That's how you as source expands. You do not want to be the same as all others and have the same journey as all others and the same dimensional experience as all others, because how do you expand? There will be no purpose for this. The purpose of expansion is being able to experience life uniquely from all the different angles of your perceived reality through the eyes of source, because you are source. You are able to explore all these different dimensions, but all these dimensions are within you, dear ones. Do you have any other questions today, dear ones?
No, Lakeshma, I'm good.
Wonderful. Well, dear ones, know that you are truly advanced beings here on this ascension journey. Remember that if you are watching this or listening to this, then you are wanting to remember more of who you are, and that you are the light workers and the wayshowers here. No matter how you express this, you have chosen to be the light. You have chosen to be in alignment to assist not only yourself, but to assist all others. But in knowing that all others are you. You have all the technologies within you to create a reality that supports you in your expansion here. This is the time of the great awakening in mankind. There are many shifts in your physical bodies, in your consciousness, in your world, in your society, because it is all connected to the shifts that is being played out now. And there will still be more shifts to be experienced, but you have wanted it. You've chosen to be here. And because you've chosen to be here, you've chosen to live through these shifts, and that you are playing an important part in these shifts. That's why you are here. So listen to the guidance within. Live more in the heart center. Be aware of the dimensional existence you reside in by being aware of your emotions and being more in the present moment. And then from there, you'll be able to further create a reality and pathways to remember more of who you are in love and oneness. Know that we are you, we are love. You are love, we are one. Until next time, farewell.